All right, a lot of people had issues with the sharing of campaign buses, campaign vehicles by Renewed Hope ambassadors, and P2B has lent his voice to that, condemning it entirely, especially based on humanitarian ground and on moral grounds that Nigerians are hungry. This is not the time to, use the limited resources we have to buy buses and all the likes to, to share for campaign that, which is several months away. As a matter of fact, almost 2 years. We're still in 2025. So he is saying that this government has failed in its entirety because they do not take cognizance of the sensitivity of people's feeling into their actions. Phil, let me start from you.
Yeah, you see,
campaign again when we have children in captivity.
Peter B said it all. He said he condemned the entire the exercise in its entirety is what is expected because Nigeria is bleeding. We have our guests in captivity. We have 3 people killed in Kuri in Kwara State. We have not said anything about them. We have local contractors who are protesting day and night at the front of Ministry of Finance for job they have successfully executed, and federal government has taken inventory of those jobs and they are not yet paid. Yet the federal government deemed it necessary at this time to commence campaign with the enormous resources. How much is a Hummer bus sold in the present day economy? It's run into millions of naira. Some of these local contractors whose money are being tied up at the various ministries and agencies, they are not up to 20 million naira, and you are giving bus to people who will go and campaign to the hungry men so that they can do their job effectively. You can see there's nothing like inhuman other than what the government is doing. You see, this is a government that we have said it over and over, and we can't get tired of saying that this government, the only thing they know how to do is politics. How can you be campaigning at this time? When the country is facing enormous problem of insecurity.
Okay, let me read from what P2B said, maybe to help you make the best meaning of it. He said, leadership, especially in these challenging times, should focus on providing food for the hungry, ensuring access to healthcare for the sick, restoring hope for millions, for the unemployed youth. Even some adults are also unemployed. Just that the death of the youth is very alarming. And securing our communities. It should not be about parading luxury vehicles or campaigning for vote. There's something that's remarkable, which you have always said, that politics you don't do wrong things. I said that's politics. That's not politics. Nigerians are not the one that invented politics. He said this is not governance. It reflects a profound insensitivity and abuse of public trust disguised as political strategies. Grabbing it and wrong, it's not a political strategy. Stealing people's wealth is not a means of amassing wealth. It's not a strategy for success. What you call strategy is this. If I call you, maybe you want to render services to me, I say, can you discuss your strategy with me? Your strategies are those legal means, legal pathways you can use to achieve that result. Something you can explain to me, something you are proud of. Not, you can't tell me that you're going to steal people's money to come and work for me and I will accept it as a strategy. So Nigeria should understand when we say something is a strategy. When something is not what the money spent in buying those buses, where are they from?
From Asuaju's pocket. I can tell you that he's the president, he has his money, and he has the right to do whatever he wants to do. But what he doesn't have a right to do is the fact that he's the president of Nigeria. And at this particular time, the nation bleeds in so many ways, especially insecurity, and it affects everything. I won't blame him much. Let me tell you why I won't blame him much. All that Asiwaju has done is to play what we term today as politics, which is not actually politics. Politics is live and let live. Yeah. Now, let me tell you something. We have the Benin Kingdom that fell to the British. Yeah. We have the Calabar. We have the Aba riot. And we have so many other stories.
The Northern Emirates all fell to the British.
To the British. And they fought. That's the idea. They fought for the people. They could have negotiated their kingdoms out and remain indirect rulers. But even as at that time, they fought the white men. Of were conquered. Some of them went into exile.
But that's not what we're doing. We're not even fighting.
We're not fighting. Thank you. That's what I'm coming to. We're not fighting. Nobody's fighting. All that we do is we cede land to them. We say they are the one in government. That's not all it should be. Now, Asiwaju, I mean, he has done something right, for example, by bringing in General Musa in as minister and sacking Badaru. We're even still calling on the sack of Matawale, the minister for state. But all of a sudden, while the clouds that were gathering were about to rain, we hear that he has gone back to politics. Either his handlers are the one doing that are insensitive, or himself. We don't know. This is where the people need to rise and fight the government. Now, in fighting the government, it's not to take up arms. It's all people need to speak out, talk, and make sure these things should not be done that way.
All right, there is something P2B is remarkably known for, frugality, being value for money spending. And he also highlighted that in his statement. He said, at times like this, we must recognize that Nigeria cannot continue on a path of wastefulness, insensitivity, and misplaced priorities. When I say it's that Nigerians are not too careful to understand that priorities matter a lot. If you look at, for example, let's talk about we were in an international conference center the other day. You saw what the building that was the facility that was renovated with 39 billion naira. The question is, what employment was generated from that? That Deji. And not only did a lot of people said that job wouldn't have been more than 4 billion. A lot of people a lot of people said misplaced priority. You understand? You just talked about owing local contractors. These local contractors are the ones that goes into market to buy rice, pay for their children's school fees, talk to their brothers, send money to their grandmother, employ our people, even the young graduates who are still hoping to get into government employment. These local contractors are the ones that employ them as secretary, as support staff, as site engineers, and all that. But you put your money in a project that should only be done by an expatriate. Even when the ones that can be done by a local contractor, you give it to an expatriate, that cuts our money away and ends up not spreading the money into our economy. A lot of these priorities and wastefulness, certainly this money spent in buying these buses, they are not from private ventures along the line, if traced. So this level of wastefulness, these people that suddenly became rich by suddenly just working for government or becoming politician, Obi is saying that this is insensitive. At the end of the day, it is people's money. Have Nigerian people been conquered to the extent that they can't even fight? He talked about fighting, not violence. I mean, being able to protest, being able to speak out, being able to say no. Those buses should be returned back. Those buses should be converted to mass transit. Those buses, anywhere we see emblem of any political something concerning 2027, we are not going to allow it. We will convert those buses to mass transit and mass for people to move. This is not the time for election. This is not the time for campaign.
Yes, you see, I can't help but at this time to agree with Shiwe Blessing, one of our colleagues, who usually say that it is not the government problem, but it is the people's problem. From what you just said, what has the populace, the Nigerian people, what is their action? What is their reaction? It is the same Nigerians who are accepting that Homer bus as their benefit to go
as their own cake,
to go and ensure that this oppression, this suffering continues. These same Nigerians who are suffering, even the so-called local contractor I have mentioned here, some of them will go and collect the bottle to ensure that the government remain in power just because they have gotten a piece of cake. So until the Nigerian people realize that, look, it is not the self first, it's the general interest of the people that matters. When you think beyond yourself, then you can act on behalf of others. Nigerians are too self-centered. They don't think of others, especially when they are in government. You see, when Obi said it can't be better said than that. That what he has befed this country is those who are in power lack priority. They don't know how to prioritize. How can you spend 39 billion to renovate an event center? How many event takes place in a year, when 39 billion can be invested even in road infrastructure. If you put 39 billion naira on the Benin Abuja road,
even
it
in
will go a long way.
here.
So you can see that the priority are so misplaced, and the action of the people in government are so insensitive to what is happening to the general populace until the people react. Like he said, people are not reacting. That's why it is the people's problem. Until the people realize that, look, we are the worst hit. It is we that we. You see, Bob Marley said, where will you emancipate yourself from mental slavery? We are mentally enslaved. Until the Nigerian man know that he's mentally enslaved and decide to fight for his freedom, we will go nowhere.
All right,
But there's sometimes what
can you flash that picture for us while he's talking? Go ahead.
There's sometimes what I think about the whole scenario. You see, you can't get better from these leaders.
Yeah.
There's what you call in computer, garbage in, garbage out. Is what you put to the computer that the computer will give you back. Even this AI that we are talking about, AI cannot give you something nobody has ever fitted.
You must give a command.
It must be there. Somebody must have input the information there. So he goes to the web and bring it out. These politicians don't know better. Now I'm telling you.
No, but I've already said it too.
They don't know better. The governors, they don't know better. I've asked you, the minister for FCT, what job has he ever done before?
There's
He's a lawyer, body of benchers.
No, there's a saying that I forgot the name of the philosopher that gave her that quote. Not precisely, but he said, when you are dead, you won't know that you are dead.
No.
It's the people there that are mourning your brothers and sisters that will be crying that you are dead. He said the same thing happens when you are stupid.
You know that you are stupid. Somebody must have to
So we are the one worried that why are these people doing this?
because they're stupid.
They don't know better.
Yes, they don't know better. So I question the authority that brings them to power, the structure that brings them to power. Most of them, it's out of it completely. They need to know that they can't get better.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
How can a man in a PDP collect a job in APC and he said he's in PDP and he said he's rejecting an expulsion? They will not expunge you.
All right, let's move away into talking about allowing dissenting voice, which is an offshoot of what we are talking about, the people talking. The Sultan of Sokoto in the Kuka Center was addressing the people. As a matter of fact, he eulogized Sowore, calling him the President Sowore, with a small president with a small p. That in future he hopes Sowore to be president. Sowore didn't even say anything. So you are not even saying amen. So he said, you don't suffocate people. That when you hold people by the neck, suffocate them down, you will hear what they are saying. He said it's better to allow people speak, so they vent out their anger. Allowing dissenting voices. Nigerian in our politics, we've been worried about going into one state, one party system. Because we don't want other voices to be heard. But this is a leader, a well-respected leader, Sultan of Sokoto, saying that we should allow dissenting voices. With the way we are seeing the opposition parties now, just almost all of them having one thing or the other, are we really ready to allow dissenting voices? And the catastrophe of not allowing dissenting voices, are we ready for that as a nation?
You see, whether we are ready for it or not, we have to be ready for it. Because if we are not ready for it, the circumstances will force us to be ready for it. Because we are not fashioned towards a one-party state. Nigeria has not been fashioned in any way. Right from inception, from 1960, where we gained our independence to today, Nigeria has always been gravitating towards a multi-party system, and that is what the Nigerians are known to. So, if you are coming to to force it on Nigeria, you want to force a one-party state in Nigeria. Don't forget when somebody said the APC ship. It will be, Senator Ali Dume said, it will soon bloated and the ship will capsize, because the ship is not used to carry that kind of load you are giving to it. The Nigerian system is not used to one party state. So if you refuse to listen to the voice of the opposition will come out from you, within you, and that will be more disastrous.
Catastrophic. All right, explosion. That's what he was trying to say. If you suffocate gas, begin to pressure gas, at a point, beyond what the containing cylinder, the pressure of the containing cylinder is going to explode.
No matter how liquefied it is.
So that exactly, that's what the Sultan of Sokoto is telling us, that we should allow dissenting voices. Oftentimes this statement comes out and everybody push it back to the next person without, applying it to themselves, especially those that weigh the power, people in government, people that actually have power to suffocate. I can't stop you from talking now, but the government can stop you. So essentially, he is speaking to government to not stop people from talking. Allow them to vent their anger. Allow Sowore to talk. Allow any other person to talk. It is better they say what they have in mind. You think the people will listen, or they will dare the consequences?
The major issue that is there is that government has already cleaned itself from all these things before government started.
Yeah.
And the way it is that you have check and balances in government. You also have government that three arms of government where the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive can perform function of each other one. Do you understand? Executive can perform the function of the legislature. That's how it is. We may not be able to go into that. Now, what the government is doing, that means they knew that the executive alone cannot make all the best decisions that there is. That's why they made it that way. When you are now trying to make all of them, the rule of that structure is defeated. The aim is defeated. What this particular presidency must know is that when you are gone tomorrow, because nobody can stay here forever.
Nobody.
You will.
You say that your tenure finishes, or you will
finish. Do you understand? And one must happen at every particular point in time. If you leave this government now, you will now leave us. I normally say you bring in old people to govern, to be making rules for the future they don't belong to.
Wow. Okay, let's have that video where Sultan of Sokoto was admonishing people, trying to hear Sowore. Eventually, he was talking to all Nigerians. Let's have that video, please.
So I want to thank the agency, and I urge you, don't look back. You have criticisms, you have critics, let them talk, but listen. Those you bring close to you, like President Sowore, bring him close. When I say president, president with small p, not capital P. It's only President Tinubu has capital P. So President Sowore, come close, say your own mind. There's nothing wrong in you saying your mind. Because the more you allow somebody to bring out what is in chest, the better for you and him. The moment you turn down somebody and try him, and then you allow him to go haywire. I think it's very important. So when I was coming in, I met President Sowore there. I was very surprised to see him. But I'm also very happy to see him, because we'll hear from him what are the issues that he thinks the government should do or must do for him to be a happier person. Because when he's happy, the people that follow him, that respect him, that believe in him, will also be happy. And that's life. But the more you tie somebody down, tie his neck, twist him, and he can't talk, you'll be saying, you don't know what he wants to say. But let him open his mouth and say what he wants to say. So, President Sowore, I invite you to feel free, come to me as you used to. We met a couple of times at the peace committee meetings when you were gunning for presidency. Maybe one day you'll be at this Aso Villa as president. You didn't say amen.
All right, away from dissenting voices, allowing dissenting voices. The euphoria of the appointment of General Musa is still on. If you are listening to the 5-hour screening session, a lot of issues came up from there. Shoot at sight, you have the right, or people say shoot on sight, you have the right as a soldier. He said once a soldier is deployed, he has the order already. So issues that, we are trying to listen to order before we can attack criminals, before we can do the function, carry out the function for which we were deployed. He said that does not exist. And he also talked about pulling off our soldiers from internal checkpoints that police and NSDC can handle. He is looking at where to galvanize the forces we have to actually attack those areas where a soldier is typically trained to kill. That's the training of a soldier, to fight an enemy, not to be telling our citizens to do frog jump at checkpoints. That's not what a soldier is trained for. Oftentimes you see them telling old man to do frog jump because he was answering call very close. When we see those things like misuse of our resources, that's not what the soldier is trained to do. General Musa is saying that we are going to work in allowing NSCDC, civil defense, and the police handle our internal checkpoints and all that, while hotspots are left for the soldiers to handle. Do you think we are going to go in that direction? Because now the entire defense is going to be coordinated by somebody we think, Nigerians have said this is a square peg in a square hole, if you choose not to go with a round peg in a round hole.
Yeah, you see, you just taking the word out of my mouth. You see, when you appoint the right person to man the right offices, you get the right results. It's been over 10 years that our military personnel have been deployed to road and form roadblock. It's so sad that our Nigerian army has started collecting 500 naira on roadblock, just like the police we have.
Yeah.
Is that what the Nigerian army meant for? So you have, because the people who are in charge of the defense, they are not trained military men. They don't know the implication of what was happening at the roadblock, at the checkpoint. This is a man who is not only at the helm of affair, but he has his ear to the ground. If you remember, this is a man, a very dark man, came out to applaud that after he had tongue-lashed him for his action. He said for him, when they came, they said, so the army wants you. That it was what has happened. It was and they took him, and the man listened to very dark man and extracted information that enabled him to succeed as a chief of defense staff.
All right, we got it. Yesterday he was sworn in, and he has officially resumed duty as defense minister now. So Peter, let me hear from you very quickly. General Musa has resumed. Nigerians almost, in short, every people that disagreed with Asiwaju before, they eventually agreed with him on the appointment of General Musa as defense minister. Not to twist you, do you think the presence of Matawale is going to constitute issues for his all the elaborate and very robust policies he talked about during the screening?
No, truthfully, I don't think so, but he might not add value to what he wants to do. You need people that can bring value to the table. What values Matawale bring to the table when it comes to discuss security issues? That's what we look at. You should get people that they know this thing, they're involved in these things. So Matawale should go. Let's get the right people into it. And see the way Nigerians reacted to it. See the way Nigerians embrace this news. Nigerians across religion, age brackets, everybody celebrates it because we've gotten it right. We've gotten somebody that knows what to do. And thank God for that senator that insisted that he has to talk to us. I'm glad from that senator from KB that insisted we need to hear him. And hearing him engendered confidence in Nigeria that we are moving this country forward. With people like him. Someone said about removing military from checkpoints. What are they doing there? That is not their training. Remember what happened in NSTAS in Lagos? When you brought military to those situation, they're not trying to come and manage these things. Our police are trying to eat. They are trying to attack our aggressors. And those children were not aggressors. So now he has said, we are going to face this people headlong. Days of negotiation with bandits are over. You don't negotiate with the enemy. Negotiate with the ransom. They get them to buy more arms.
Right. So the time is obviously against us, and our soldiers are trained to kill our enemy, not to attack our citizens or maybe throw tear gas to disperse our citizens. Those are not the training of our soldiers. And General Musa has said every officer that is already deployed has the order to shoot an enemy. We'll be right back very shortly.